Alrighty, well, welcome everybody. We're super excited for tonight. This is our first of 4 coaching calls this month. And the special thing about this is it's group coaching. So it is a safe place. We're going to embrace vulnerability. We're going to embrace just the awareness piece that we really have to invite as we work our businesses. And I just want to say I'm super proud of you. Actually, Justin is too, so is Carissa and Brenda. I'm so proud of you guys for hopping on. And I was just chatting with Brenda and Carissa earlier, but we want to empower you guys. I think that's such a powerful word. And really, as leaders of your businesses, to help you make the necessary shifts that you need. And you know, it's often not big, huge, drastic changes that you have to make. It's just tiny little shifts, and it's typically in our minds. It's all about mindset, how we view things, our perspective, you know, shaped by our experiences and things like that. So I want to encourage you to grab a pen and paper, and as we coach and ask clarifying questions to the sweet volunteers who are going to hop on tonight with us, we all want to encourage you to take notes and also to think through how you're going to learn and what you're going to implement from what you learn from hearing them ask the questions and kind of sitting in the hot seat. So there's a few people still hopping on here. So, alrighty. Okay, so Justin just ran out of the room for a second, but that's okay. I am going to click this to gallery view to make sure that I can see all of the people. Alrighty. So the first person that we are going to chat with tonight is Iris, and she is on, there you are, hello. She is on Brenda's team. And so Iris, are you able to unmute and we can chit chat? Okay, awesome. So can you just tell us a tiny bit about yourself, maybe how long you've been in Plexus and what your rank is and some of the stats for us?
Perfect, absolutely. So I joined in 2014 and I've been with Plexus since 2014. I started sharing at about 2016, didn't really know what I had until 2017 really, and that's when I was like, oh, I have a business, this is amazing. So 2017 is when I say, you know, I really started working the business. I shared kind of just randomly with people before then, but so I'm a mom of 6 and I homeschool, and we live in the beautiful state of Alaska, and we've been up here for about 14 years and we love it. And you know, Plexus, it always sounds cliche, but totally life-changing. I spent 3 days in the hospital with an autoimmune disease, and Plexus was what gave me my life back. My husband's medically retired from the military, so he did 10 years in the military, and he got off all of his millions of military medication because of Plexus. So, and with each pregnancy got better. I had 3 babies without Plexus and 3 babies with Plexus. So each pregnancy was better and better, even though I was getting older. So that's kind of it in a nutshell.
Yes, perfect. Okay, did you tell me what your rank is?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm senior Ruby.
Okay, perfect. And so let's see. We're going to ask you for a couple wins, a couple things that are going really, really well in your business currently, maybe based on last month. Like what are a couple things that you can think of off the top of your head? So
a couple wins for me are a mindset shift. I've been having this amazing mindset shift on systems, and watching Brooke Hemingway's YouTube was just like confirmation of that. I'm like, I'm getting a system for everything. I was even telling Brenda in our leaders chat, I was like, I finally figured out that I need to have a system for laundry. Like when the laundry gets overwhelming, I have to have a system. So it's like spilling over into my family life. And so realizing that I have to have systems and that helps with the overwhelm has been huge for my business. I didn't hit my numbers last month, but I had 4 new signups and I worked my tail off in 3 days. And I told my husband, I said, I did not work for the month of September, but in 4 days, I got 4 signups. And I was like, I know I can do this if that's what I can do in 4 days. So that was a huge win. Even though I didn't hit my numbers, I was totally just inspiring. And I'm like, I got this. I got this now. I got the systems and I just got to get the work in. So those two were wins from last month for sure.
Awesome. So what would you like? Is there something in particular that you'd like to see shift in your business or like to see something different happen?
As I was telling our leaders chat a couple weeks ago, I'm a very much a blue personality. And so if it's boring, I don't want to do it. And I have a really hard time doing the boring things. And the boring things is all the virtual office stuff. I don't want to have to go through all the data. I don't want to have to look at all the numbers. And like, this is like ripping my hair out. I just want to talk to the people and sign people up. So I have a huge problem with retention. And so I want to figure out how to make myself do the boring things first so that I can have retention and I can really show people that I care about them. Because I'm great at showing them I care about them and talking to them and getting them to sign up. But it's that real personal customer care that Brooke was talking about in the YouTube video that I'm like, that's what I really want to master.
Okay. What about it feels boring to you? Just curious.
Because I'm not talking to anybody. I'm just looking at numbers. I'm like, oh my stars. And I'm like, I have to click on everything. I'm just in the back office. I'm like, I'm thankful the information is there. I like to be able to glance at those big numbers and be like, okay, on track. But I don't want to have to like weed through mountains of information. And I feel like it takes forever. And when Brooke was talking about, okay, and then you're going to go through and you're going to count all of the white lines. I'm like, So, but she made the point. If I know it wouldn't be that bad if I would just do it weekly. If I would make myself every Friday, you're going to go through your virtual office. So it's just, it's data is mind numbing to me. So.
Okay. Yeah, I think that some things that shifted for me listening to Brooke was basically normalizing the fact that it's a leadership lid they have to bust through. Like if you want to get back to Senior Ruby and go beyond, you really have to know your numbers. You have to be willing to dig into the back office and just, Brooke is really great about teaching. This is not overwhelming. Like if you perceive it as overwhelming, then okay, it can be. But if you just make it put it into your system, like every Friday, that's a virtual office day, or every day I'm going to spend a half an hour looking through reports so that I can look and see. Because really, I heard there was a sweet Silver on our team. We did a in-person event locally a couple months ago, and she's like, the to-do list is back there. She's like, just get in your virtual office and you just click back in there, and you'll see who you need to check in with and things like that. So, do you currently have a system for follow-up with your current people?
I do, but I'm very bad at implementing it. It's like I have it and I don't know if it's because I haven't quite solidified it. I know that there's like, I have printed off the checklist for the new ambassador checklist that corporate has in the virtual office, or new customer checklist. And there's some of the information or some of the videos in there that I'm like, I don't know if I want to share that with them, or I don't know if that would resonate with them, or I don't know if they would want to hear that. And so I kind of second guess in my follow-up. And, I'm good about being like, oh, hey, your products came, or here's my suggested regimen. But when it comes to the video, like you can share this video, or you can share that video, or share a diamond documentary, there's a catch. And I don't know why I hesitate. I honestly think I project ideas onto people. And I think that's why I don't follow through with the full follow-up.
Okay, coaching session's over. You just answered the question. you just self-diagnosed, you just, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. So now I just have to make myself do it.
Yeah, and I'll just share really quickly. One thing that helped me a couple months ago, like I feel like I've worked my business very unsystematically. And honestly, when I was a stalled out emerald, what basically helped us go sapphire and diamond was Brooke systems, like just the system of a 7-day challenge, like once a month. Like that was a foreign concept to me, that I could be leading something that like that for my team, and like getting new people in, getting potentials in, teaching while people are in that, right? So one thing that I started doing, maybe at the first of the year, was a systematic campaign for my new people. So there's something called the Sprinkle campaign, and I can actually put it in the chat while someone else is talking, and you can save it to the notes in your phone. And I think that also takes the overthinking out of it, because when it's your system, you're not overthinking, oh, would this be good for them? Or, oh, maybe this other one, but just like send the video. It's my system. It's day 3. Boom, I'm going to send it. Right. And so I try to have a couple touch points before they ever get their products. And so there's like, a basic one that I send, like a welcome to Plexus, and it has actually a video that I made with my starter video. And then I have like one with Jessica Hugendorn and another one with Brooke. And like every other day I try to get that blitzed out. So that has been helpful to me, just to be more systematic. And when we say systems, like it basically just means something that you do the same every single time, no matter who the person is. Whether it's, a super influential, wealthy person that you're scared to send a follow-up message to, or Joe Schmo that you don't even know that saw your Facebook post, and so you're not scared to ask them, if they'd be willing to share or whatever. But when you're systematic, then it's the same every single time. And it's just, you make them do it. So that might be like a tangible to-do that you might find helpful just from the retention standpoint. Do you feel like it's getting duplicated down with lack of retention?
Yes. Yeah, I feel like my team, I've got 3 builders and they're great gals. But I can tell my hangups are their hangups times 10.
Okay.
So, and just because, I haven't been able to tell them exactly, and things get confusing. And so, it's
like parenting.
Yes.
We see in our children.
Yes.
So, shoot, I just had a thought and it left me. We were talking about customer care retention. Oh, it had to do with duplication. I know. One thing that I started doing, and your team might be big enough at this point to really, feel like this is worth the time to figure it out. But the Project Broadcast app has really helped us. And it's basically a texting app where you can text demographics of people the same message. So what we started doing, and it may help your team wide, if you do any sort of tap routing. What we do is like a drip campaign. That's what we call it. So at the first of the month, every week, there's a little message sent, like a welcome text. Hey, this is Justin and Megan Goff. We're your Diamond uplines, and we are just coming alongside as a support to Carissa. And we just want to introduce ourselves and say, hey, we've been using the products for 6.5 years. It's been such a blessing to our family, yada, 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 right? So then every week there's another little blip of a hey, don't forget to drink your water. And then maybe another week it's like talking about detox. Another week it's like how to get your products paid for. So it's just a layering where that might be helpful for your, team if you're not currently introducing yourself to all of your people's people.
Yes. Yes.
Alongside as a help to their follow-up that they're doing. Or if you have people that just are casual sharers and they don't really follow up with people, to try to retain some of those people just by connecting with them.
Nice.
Through that. And also it doesn't clog up your personal text message
nice
thing. It's like a separate app. So it's like your Plexus phone number. And you can just go in there specifically and respond to those texts.
Nice.
But I have done different things, and I feel like emails have like such a low percentage of people that even open them, that we found that text works the best.
Nice. Yes. Okay.
Is there anything else with your business that you feel like you really need to hone in on? So retention was one.
Yeah. Retention is huge. My mindset is definitely changing a lot. When I first started, I had a big issue with with success. I struggled with whether I was allowed to make that much money, whether it was godly or ungodly to make that much money. But as I learned, as I grew so much, and I'm of the mindset where I'm like, people who love Jesus need to be making this much money and everybody else doesn't. So, people who are going to actually put it into good things and further the kingdom. So that mindset has shifted a lot. But every once in a while, I will still catch myself wondering if my priorities are straight. And I think that a lot of mamas probably have this issue. Especially my kids are, my oldest is 11 and my youngest is 18 months. And we homeschool. And I love putting on my entrepreneur hat and working my business. I love it. But I feel like I can get sidetracked, and then are my priorities straight? And it turns into this spiral that I have to pick one or the other. And that is usually where my brain gets in this funk. And that is hard to pull out of. I'm slowly learning to pull out of those quicker, and having the systems is helping. But I think that would help a lot if I could, and learning how to give myself permission, and that God has called me to this, like those things I've got to keep telling myself. But that has been, those two things have probably been the hardest things, and they still creep up. Yeah. Am I allowed to make this much money? And when Brooke Hemingway said $80,000 a month, I was like, wow, that's real money she's pulling in. So yeah.
So one thing in light of that, so I love finances. I'm a nerd. I like calculators and numbers. But this is something that I love this area, especially for Christians in light of making money. But one thing you can do in light of affirmations is you can write down some of the scriptures that deal with money and leave them by your desk, memorize them, tape them to your computer, whatever. Because I mean, affirmations have to be rooted in truth.
Yes.
Whether they've happened yet or not is a whole nother issue. But an affirmation has to be rooted in truth. So there's some scriptures that you can write down. I can even send you some that encourage me, that have helped me, get past that point also, to where making money is not necessarily evil. Like you can be a solid believer and live a fruitful, godly life and make money. It is possible. But yeah, I think writing down some scriptures and just having them on hand, memorizing them. I like 3x5 note cards. I write myself notes, and just to go back to those promises and back to those scriptures and lean on those for my affirmations. That would be something good in light of the finances, and kind of getting over that hump of believers having some money.
Yes. Thank you.
I think for me, there is a big shift when, I really feel like I built my team off of basically getting people on the products up through Sapphire. And it was like this mental block. I don't understand why. I think, I do. I think because I came into Plexus for the products, that I'm like, I was watching Jessica Heffley, but I'm like, she's a marketing major. She's a businesswoman. She was scrolling on the internet late at night to figure out how to make money from home. She wanted her husband home more. And so her reason for coming into Plexus was so very different from mine. And so I knew that I couldn't morph into this, make all this money, on Facebook, people would disown me. So I'm like, well, how do I, within my true self, promote this opportunity where it's appealing, it's attractive, and it's within who I am. You know what I mean? So yeah. I do feel and it was when Jessica said, I don't know what flipped a switch for me, but when she said, the world runs off of business. We pay every other service person in our life, and this is no different. And so it was this, it's kind of semantics and it was a mindset thing for me. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. And I think when we really take ownership of the fact that we have been introduced to the products, and the opportunity for such a time as this. Like God has allowed, especially his people, I feel like, to be introduced to such an awesome company, awesome products, awesome comp plan, and the sky's the limit, really, in light of how far you want to go. And so, like, buy up the opportunity, and think through like what good you can do as your income grows. Like we've been just chatting, like every time, like we're amazed at like how much income that we make per month, but like we're constantly resetting the goal. Like, oh my word, that's such a scary number. But I mean, we have talked about like we would love to be able to write a $100,000 check to someone where we believe in whatever ministry or the thing that they're doing. Like, how awesome is that?
Right.
You know?
I mean, quite honestly, giving is the funnest thing I've ever done with money. And Plexus allows us to give more. So that's just amazing. And it's one of our goals, and one of my goals is to have enough to put into a fund to where that just makes money. That's all it does, is makes money. And we have basically created a eternal tithe that will outlive us, like a Goff family foundation or a fund. And that will Plexus will allow us to do that.
Yeah.
And so that will outlive us. That the kids will take over that fund and be able to give that to where they think God wants them to give it as a family. So that's how big we're thinking in light of this. And so we're just going to run with it. We'll give as much as we can.
And so thinking through like what your dreams are and how big this opportunity is for you, it requires that we do like as Amy Booker, she's an Emerald on our team, she's like, we have to do the unsexy stuff. Like there's this part of the business where it can be a little bit laborious or boring because it's not like big and flashy and you're not on stage and people cheering for you. You're kind of in your own little corner doing your thing.
Right.
And in light of this business, in light of any industry, any play, in light of success, the little things are what put you in positions to win. It's not the big stuff. It's like, if you look at the champions in anything, any industry, any sport, finance, whatever, they're very, 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 very good at doing the little basic stuff that most people overlook because it's boring.
Yeah.
Vince Lombardi was arguably the greatest football coach in football history. And the first day of practice, he'd always tell the professional players on his team, gentlemen, this is a football. Like, it was the basics. So we have to get really good at doing the boring basics. That will put us in position to win in this business.
Good things. Well, hey, Carissa did have one quick question, and I love this. She says, why don't you hire help for digging through the data part, and then you do the fun relational part? That's Carissa's question for you.
Yes. I have to say, my husband follows you guys on Facebook. He actually loves you guys. And he's told me before, he's like, are you following the Goffs? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm following so many people. But no, he loves you guys. And he is very data minded. And so we were working this more together, but then he kind of needed a break and needed me to do my thing. Working side by side with your husband is a new challenge. And figuring that out, but I have thought that I should pull him back in to do the data stuff because his degree's in banking and finance and he loves the numbers. So I appreciate that reminder. That's a good reminder.
That's huge. And so it may be just those little slight tweaks. And I feel like over the course of the 6.5 years I've been in Plexus, like there's different seasons where I've been like, you know what, I'm going to work really hard to eliminate as many stressors as possible. So that might mean offloading to an assistant, hiring a little bit of help, or pulling hubby in to do some of the data stuff. So I know that there's a lot of couples that work that. So definitely think that's a good idea. We're going to switch because we want to let a couple other people have a turn, but let's follow up. How about in Facebook Messenger, and you kind of tell us the things that you're going to take away and put into action so that you have a implementation plan after our chit chat here.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for hopping on with us.
Iris, I want to just quick say, if you're going to hire your husbands to do that, husbands are the easiest to pay.
True.
Yes.
All righty. Okay, so we're going to go to Carissa, and she is going to pick a lucky winner to be interviewed and coached.
Yeah, I'm so
Hello.
excited. Linda Lee, I see that you're on here. So go ahead and unmute and introduce yourself to the group. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your family, your business, and then you can lead right on into telling us a couple of wins that are going well for you in Plexus right now.
Okay. I have been with Plexus for a little over 3 years. I retired from my full-time job at my church 2 years ago. So I've been working the business more full-time for the past year, maybe a little over a year. So I am retired. I have twin daughters that are 40, a son, 39, and 13 grandchildren that keep me very busy.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I would say for me, the draw for working the business and what motivates me, I feel like my husband and I being retired financially, we have everything that we need, but I really have a desire to be a big giver. So that's what motivates me to sponsor more children, to help build churches in Africa, to support missionaries. My daughter and son-in-law have been in 3 different countries on the mission field. So when they go back, to be able to support them. So that's my motivation. It's been a slow couple of months, but I'm gold right now, and I have maintained that all year since January. So
Amazing.
that's a win, but yeah, a few slow months doesn't feel the best.
Yeah, so it's a
I
win
need to improve there.
Can you tell me a little more about what was the shift like when you stopped the full-time work at the church and Plexus was all of a sudden the full-time gig? Did that feel positive, negative, neutral, or?
No, it was really positive because I was frustrated before that, feeling like I didn't really have the time that I wanted to devote to it. So it definitely made it easier having more time.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I was working through a lot of mindset issues like everybody else, and still am working through those. But I feel like I'm getting better with that. But yeah, the more videos I've listened to and the more people who are in a position like you guys who have done very well, it sounds like it's something that never really fully goes away, that it's kind of, maybe it gets better, but it rears its ugly head on and off. So I'm just learning to work through that.
Yeah, it's important not to let that intimidate you, though, because you can get in a place of, oh, this is never going to go away. And the truth is, you keep finding more and more freedom. And you gradually, you crack one nut and there might be something else underneath that you haven't had the chance to tackle yet because you've been dealing with the shell.
Right.
But it was actually said at our mini convention, I don't know where you went, we were in Arizona. And no, she was one of the main speakers. Sorry, one of the main speakers. She said, when you're playing in the big leagues, you have big league meltdowns.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So it's true that even as a diamond, some of the things that are hitting me hard in my business, they're big league meltdowns.
Yeah.
But I like what you said about every video I watch, I learn something. There's a little nugget of something.
Yeah.
And I want to encourage you to latch on to those and embrace the freedom that comes from those. Because even when you said, I retained gold all year, but it's hard because those wins really, really deserve to be celebrated. In fact, if you could come up with another one, because retaining gold is so amazing, a lot of people don't do that. 3% of Plexus is gold or above. So you're in the top 3% of Plexus holding on to the rank of gold. So that's huge. So I want to challenge you. Can you name another win that's kind of current in your business? Because I want to challenge you on that, just because it's important to recognize.
Last month, I signed a gal up that I went to high school with.
Nice.
And I've been talking to her for a while, and know that she really needs the products. She needs to turn her health around. She needs a friend. And she wasn't interested when I've contacted her previously, but she finally came to me and said, I'm ready. Let's do this. And so I've been working real closely with her, and she's doing good so far, and her life is really hard.
Yeah.
She's got a lot going on, and has some big health goals, but I was excited that she trusted me and that I'm building that relationship with her and seeing some wins, seeing excitement on her part finally. She said she's basically kind of given up on herself for a lot of years.
Yeah.
And she sounds like she has hope again for change.
Yeah. And people don't come to you for no reason. So there is something that you've been doing consistently and intentionally that caused her to go, okay, I'm ready.
Yeah.
And I'm going to Linda.
Yeah.
I'm ready. So that's awesome. That's huge. I don't know what it was. Maybe you've been posting. Maybe you've been consistently touching base with her. I mean, what do you attribute it to?
I do try and post daily. I mean, obviously it's not all about Plexus, but I do try and be very faithful with that. But I've reached out to her pretty consistently too, and just tried to stay in touch and ask how she's doing, not always talking about Plexus or the products, but just checking on her.
Yeah. Yeah. Which honestly, that's how a pro operates. So everybody in the chat, I want you to shower Linda with some affirmations and love, because she's a pro at this. She's in the top 3% of Plexus leaders as a gold ambassador. She's maintaining that rank, and she is striking the perfect balance with posting and following up relationally and related to Plexus. Like, I just want you, Linda, to see everybody's praises for that, because I can't tell you how many people I've got on my team who can't do that and don't do that.
Thank you.
So what would you say is a repetitive thought that stresses you out related to your life or your business? Something that maybe you hear daily in your head?
So I don't have anyone sharing on my team, and no one is really interested in sharing. So it's me. I had one gal that I signed up like a year ago who said she was interested in sharing. I was doing weekly Zooms with her and would talk and kind of do training, and then give her the action steps, which week to week she never followed through. And so I finally just felt like I'm dragging her, and she's really not. I mean, she says she's interested and she wants her products paid for, but not ever following through doing the things. So then I kind of just gave up on her, I guess, for now. And then the gal that I just spoke about that I signed up, she has posted a couple of times, but kind of the same thing. I go over with her what needs to be done, and this came up, that came up, and a lot of times it doesn't happen. So that's probably my frustration. I feel like I'm doing this alone, and I know to keep going ranks higher, I need people on my team. But I think the more I've been listening to tapes or videos and things like that, A common theme has been that most leaders don't, it's not that you get a runner and someone who's going to be a great business builder. Usually you create that person, that you've got to be a good enough leader to speak into them hope, belief that they can do it. And I've got to lift my leadership lid in order to pour into them, that I'm not going to necessarily go find a Megan Goff on the street and she's gonna, go crazy.
Yeah.
So that's given me a little bit of hope that it's not like I'm looking for that perfect person and I can't find them. It's, I've got to just pour into the people that I have, and the right person will come along. And then I've got to be ready to feed into them, encourage them, train them, and inspire them.
Yeah. All good things. Do you feel like you gave up on that girl? You said I gave up on her. Is that how you feel?
I guess for a while I've been thinking we met up until summer, and then it seemed like summer each week she was, I can't do it because I've got this. Oh, I forgot the next week. And I said, let's just take a break for summer and then we'll see where we're at in the fall. And I haven't messaged her yet, but I've been thinking the past week, I probably need to check in and see, are you willing to kind of pick up again and, see where she's at.
Well, let me push back on that a little with you, because she showed you by not taking any of the actions that she was not willing.
Okay.
And I don't think that your time is worth that. I don't think that you gave up on her truly. I think that you give when you feel that when you sense that they're willing to take the step you give. You give them an action, they're willing to do it, and you go, okay, it's worth pouring more of my very valuable effort and time in here. And I can tell just in a few minutes with you that you're a really compassionate person, and that's what motivates your entire involvement with Plexus, down to what you're going to do with the money. So here you are wanting this person to want it really badly, and it's hard when somebody doesn't want freedom. And even just on the health level, when they don't want freedom from their physical infirmities, or their, poverty enough to send a message with you or post something you're telling them to post.
Right.
But it does not sound to me like you gave up on her.
Okay.
And so if you're feeling that way, I would maybe just push back and challenge you, that it's true that those leaders are sort of pulled, like you said, you've seen on videos, those leaders are kind of pulled out of their cushy little comfort zone, and that you're the one who casts that vision for them. But it is also true, two things can be true at the same time. It's also true that you're out there digging for gold, and you are trying to find Megan Goff on the street who's going to run with this without you having to meet with her weekly all summer, even though she hasn't taken the last action step you challenged her to take.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people self-sabotage in Plexus because subconsciously we believe XYZ is going to be hard. So if you believe subconsciously that finding other business builders who want this as badly as I want it, that is going to be hard work. That is going to look like me meeting with them once a week all summer and them never doing anything I recommend. That would really demotivate me from going out and trying to find more people to do this business with me. That sounds not fun.
Yeah.
So maybe create some affirmations for yourself that this can be fun and peaceful and purposeful. And I can even find people it's easy to lead. Now, I don't want that to take you away from growing your leadership lid, because that is important, but
Yeah.
I don't want you to hold yourself back believing that every business builder you find and work with is going to be like that, because that's not a business builder. And that person showed you that really the first few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say, let's come up with some affirmations that you can be thinking. I am looking for a Megan Goff. I am digging for gold. I'm going to find it. And when I find those people, working with them is going to feel free and fun. It's not going to feel like a slog, you know?
The other thing I know that excuse me, that I need to start doing, and I've just started doing it. And again, this was from a video, but they asked, how often are you posting about the business? Mm-hmm. So if you're always just posting about the products, that's who you're attracting. So if you want to attract business builders, you've got to start posting about the business and not be shy on that. So I've been trying to do that more.
Awesome. And the business is multifaceted. So you have a lot of options. You can post about the income. You can post about the creative outlet. You can post about the community that you're in because you're in the business. You can post about the personal growth.
Yeah.
You can post about, like, when somebody sends you something that, oh, I'm sleeping better, or I'm less bloated, my pants are fitting better. You can share those texts and say, I have the best job ever because this is what I get to see every day. That's a business post. Talking about the fulfillment from the business. Mm-hmm. So really expand what do you love about doing Plexus? You said you love all the opportunities to give. Okay, well, so you can start to post about all the opportunities you have to be generous and say, this business affords me that. I love that this is my job. Yeah. That'll, I think, expand if it's been hard for you, maybe you're focusing too narrow on what the business is.
Yeah, I would say I probably am. I mean, I've done what you just said, where I kind of listed this month I was able to pay this, and this, and do extra giving, but I haven't explored all those options of the way to post about the business.
Yeah, all those facets. So maybe set yourself a goal to do that once a week, or more, maybe 1 to 2 times a week. One post is a blessing this business has been for you, or a blessing the business has been for anyone on your team. If you feel like you're dry on ideas, then you can talk about how the business has blessed Brenda. Or let's see. Sorry, I'm getting caught up in the comments. Okay, well, Okay, so I think that what's next for you is finding some business builders, finding some runners.
Please.
Yes, and finding people who truly want it. So I want to encourage you, one, to give yourself a lot of credit for your wins, and two, to if you feel that little part of you that is saying that you gave up on that one girl, maybe be shifting your thinking toward, nope, that girl was not who I was looking for to build a business with me. Now, that is somebody I'm excited to bless when they're ready. A lot of people prefer their prison to the scary unknown freedom outside the cage. Yeah. So you're there for her when she's ready. Right. But she's not who you're looking for to build this business with you. You're looking for people who are going to be able to change lives like hers with you, who are in a better place. So, yeah. Yeah. Well, okay. Thank you for opening up with us.
Yes. Thank you.
We're going to move on and let Brenda coach.
Hey, I'm ready. I'm just not sure who I'm going to coach at this point. You gals help me out, but I do want to say to Linda, I have a next post for you. Just share the joy you had here this evening of all these people blessing you with all those great affirmations. So it's just another great part of the business for sure.
So Brenda, you have Cassie Howard if she's on.
I didn't see her. I've been searching.
Oh, okay. I don't see her either. So I think you would have, we can either take a volunteer who can raise their hand right now.
From, yeah, Carissa or Megan's team, preferably, because we're kind of trying to do this switcheroo where we're not coaching the same people we've always coached. But if that doesn't work out, I can coach someone on my team.
So I see Danielle Pete raised her hand. Carissa, do you see anyone from your team that raised their hand?
I know that Stacy McElroy was one of the people who put on the survey that she was willing. She's from my team. Again, anybody right now can take this opportunity to shout it out in the chat if you want to go ahead and talk a little bit.
Do you see your other girl on here, Carissa?
Yeah, she's on.
Okay, well then I say let's roll with her, since that will be in one person from each of our teams.
Are you in a place where you can unmute and show your face?
Next time, Danielle.
Okay, I see she unmuted.
Okay,
Stacy, do we have a face?
I'm trying to get my face.
Okay, good.
I have to go outside because my kids.
All right. So I'd love to hear about yourself, a little bit of when you started with Plexus and where you're at now.
Well, I started the products a few years ago and kind of took them on and off as I could afford, and then kind of quit for a little bit. And then April, I joined back in under Cassie Howard, and right off, I just decided to go ahead and do the business because had been praying for it, and we're building a house, and to justify spending that kind of money, I kind of need to be able to pay for it. So I told Cassie, okay, I'm in, and told God, I'm going to give you the first 500. So I'm just going to see how that goes, and I don't know what's going to happen. And well, boom, I made $500 and gave it to God. And so I just barely did not reach gold was it last month? Maybe it was in August. So I'm trying to reach gold right now. I struggle. Some of these calls have been so good because one, large families, lots of kids, whatever. I struggle. Our life is chaos right now, so I struggle with consistency, with schedules. Never every day is not the same, so I feel like not every day is just different so I don't even know how to be consistent and have these systems in place. I did take steps from one of the first calls to go back to meal planning. I used to meal plan, but I haven't been, so I started that. But the system of the sprinkle system, I wrote all that down and copied all that because I need that because I'm terrible at retention right now. But I really just I feel like I need help knowing what to do. Sometimes I'll have a few minutes and I'm like, okay, what do I do? That and reach outs. I struggle with those two areas.
Okay. I have some questions for you already, but before we move into that, I do want to hear wins. So let's hear the wins you've had recently, especially the past month in your business.
Okay. Well, last month was a really slow month, and I got one new person on my team, so the win would be, I guess, that I had somebody under me. She added like 5 people in the last 2 months, so that was awesome.
That is huge. Any movement forward is a win in your
especially
business.
Since it wasn't me doing it, so that was a big encouragement to have somebody going along with me.
Yes, it's a big deal at your stage in the game. Yay for you. Okay, I'm loving it. So you mentioned in the beginning that you set a specific number goal and you hit it. Have you set another specific number goal?
A number goal.
Money-wise.
Oh, yes. Well, I guess not my ultimate goal, but my next money goal would be $2,000 a month. And no, I have not hit that. But I have made some goals, just like to give to God, but not actually amounts for what I
Okay.
want to make, other than the
Why
2000.
why 2K a month? What would that mean for you?
Because I feel like that would give us, especially right now with building, my husband kind of shut down his business to focus on building. So that puts us really tight, and that would just I pick up a lot of slack. And then two, he also wants to transition to some other line of work after building the house, and that would, I don't know why 2000. I mean, it's not like that pays all our bills. That's not. It's just felt like a good, attainable number that would make a
Yeah.
difference in our
Awesome.
expenses.
That's good. That's good. Okay, so do you know what it takes to earn 2,000 a month?
I believe. I think I sat down and figured it out at one point, but I was thinking that if I had got to senior gold or ruby or something like that, that should
Okay.
get me there.
All right. So if you have about a plan where you know about this many silvers and this many golds on my team, that's when I can reach that goal, because you'll never get to big numbers like that on your own typically. So you're thinking about how many silvers I need, how many golds I need, and I don't have those numbers right off the top of my head right now, but you're right, it's going to be around that senior golds ruby mark. So you could have a couple golds, 3 silvers, 4 silvers, and a gold. So if you have a specific plan like that, then you kind of know what to work for. So if you don't have that, I would say get with your sponsor and have them help you work that out.
Okay. Yeah.
So thinking about getting, say, 3 silvers and a gold, how does that make you feel? Like, does that feel attainable?
Yes, it does. The gold is scary, because I need a runner. Most of my I got my husband's account to silver, so that doesn't really count for somebody else. But I've already got 1 silver. She already said she wasn't interested in the business, so I don't know how long she's gonna last. She was doing it, but I don't know. So I feel like getting silvers is attainable. Finding a runner to reach gold, I feel like will be a challenge, but not. I think I could find that. I think it's attainable.
Yeah, for sure. So you mentioned needing runners. What do you picture when you picture a runner for your team? What kind of person are you looking for? When you say a runner, describe that to me.
Somebody who is, one, passionate about health, obviously, and who is motivated to do all the things, to, like, the other late Linda or whoever was saying that she worked with somebody all summer long and she's not doing the things. And so I feel like somebody that's actually going to take the steps and go on the calls and do, when I make a suggestion, go with it, run with it, even if she doesn't know how to do all the things, but do something.
Okay.
Take action.
All right. So when you do posts, when you share with your new people, when you onboard, oh, good. Megan and Justin just put in some numbers there. So
Oh, yeah.
Krista said 3 golds and 5 silvers. There you are. So this is who you're looking for.
Okay.
And so when you are posting and doing your follow-up with your new ambassadors, this is your vision now. This is what you want to talk in a manner and in a what word am I looking for, guys? You want to have the posture that you are looking for someone that wants to earn some money. So you're going to want to find some people's pain points. So learn to be a good question asker on what they are needing in their life. Like, what are the areas for them financially that are a pain for them right now, so you can offer them hope out of that pain. So tell me about what your current posting and onboarding looks like in terms of sharing the business.
I'm trying to figure out what that means.
How often would you say you post about the business in any of the ways that Carissa had shared before?
I got distracted with the baby when she was sharing those, so I'm like, oh man, I missed those.
Okay.
I share about what a blessing it is to be able to help with our house building process. And I've shared to be able to, we have 9 kids, and so to be able to pay for quality supplements for all my kids, that's a big deal. That's a lot of money. So to be able to pay for that, I've been able to share that. I have a couple times talked about, looking for certain qualifications, but I think I need some work in that area.
Okay. Yeah. Well, just find someone to keep you accountable to doing that. Look for other business posts that you love. I do this all the time. I see Justin or Megan post a business post. I'm like, yes, I love that. So I copy it and I edit it to be me, and I use it because sometimes it's inspiring the way other people can share. So that would be my first thought for you. And then my other question is, when you bring on a new ambassador, what do you share with them initially? Like, hey, this is what you now have available to you as an ambassador. What does that look like?
Well, that's why I just copied Carissa, was it Carissa's sprinkle system? Because I was just winging it, and I would just tell them to let me know when they got their products because I wanted to help them. And I would shy away from the, okay, if you add 3 people thing, because it wasn't a system, and I'd feel weird. It's like, well, they just want the products. Why would they even want that? And so I would try to mention it sooner rather than later, especially with the Fast Start program. But I would shy away from that.
Are you ready to do that more now?
Yes.
And don't forget to share your own goals and dreams, because with your people, with your new people, tell them, my friend Carissa or Casey or whoever has done this amazing thing in the business, and I know if they can do it, I can too. And this is where I'm going, and I want to take you with me. Whether you want it or not is fine, but I want you to know that this is an opportunity for you to come alongside of me. Do you think that's something you could get good at?
Yes, for sure.
You seem like you have the personality for it.
Hopefully.
You're real and you're endearing, and yet you have a positivity and a funness, about you that I think you would be good at that.
Well, thank you.
All right. So I just feel like for you have a specific number goal. You have a plan now for getting your golds and your silvers, and you're going to share the business more boldly to get those runners. Does it sound like something you can do?
Yes, for sure.
Okay, and I see your support, Cassie, over here just nodding and all excited for you. So I have no doubt you're going to move forward in this.
She's a great leader.
Yes. Well, thanks for letting me pry and ask the questions, and I'm excited for you. Did you Justin or Megan or Carissa, have anything else to add for Stacy?
I don't think so.
I think you should think through what you're going to put into action. Like once you hop off a call like this, and this goes for everybody really, anyone that was live coached or you're just listening to the coaching, is get it down on paper, the little shifts that you want to make and what you're going to implement, maybe even tonight. Take action quickly.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you guys. Thank you, Stacy, Linda, and Iris for being on with us. So fun. I hope you guys gleaned something from our time together. We're really excited to offer this. This is something new that we've never done before. So there was a little bit of like, how's it going to go? It's not something that you can come into scripted, right? But I think by asking the clarifying questions, there's new levels of awareness. And that's really what the journey is about, is like the awareness and then making the slight little pivots.
Yeah, one thing I just wanted to share really fast, and like, this is something if someone asks me to help them get to their next goal or the next point goal, next rank, whatever that is, some of the things I will ask is this, is one thing, where are you? You always have to know where you are. Like if you're doing land navigation in the Army, the first thing you have to know before you go anywhere is where in the world am I on the map, right? So the first thing you have to identify is where are you? So where are you point-wise? Where are you rank-wise? Right? For example, if you are a gold with 150 points, that's where you are. You're at the 150 point mark. That's where you are. The next question I would have you ask is this, is where are you going? You know, so maybe it's senior gold, 250 points, right? So now we've established where you are. We've established where you're going. The next question is, what are we going to do about the gap? We have a 100-point gap, right? So how are we going to fill the gap? Because that's really the issue. The numbers, don't get too emotional about numbers. Numbers are non-emotional. It's just, that's why I like numbers. They're not emotional at all. It is what it is. It's math, right? So with the gap, with like for the example I just gave, it's a 100-point gap. Now, the one other question you can ask is, what I'm doing right now on a daily basis going to help me fill the gap or not? It either is, or it's either you're in momentum and you're growing or you're not with what you're doing. So that's the other question to ask. If not, then what do I need to do to fill the gap? What is it that I'm not doing? What is it I'm afraid to do, right, to fill this gap? And to get from one point, let's say to get from gold to senior gold, you're probably going to have to do some new stuff. You're probably going to have to overcome a new fear. You're probably going to have to bring on some new business builders. You're going to have to do something that you haven't done before. How do I know that? Because if not, you'd already be at senior gold, right? So you're going to have to do something new, right, to fill that gap. So those are the questions I like to ask if I'm helping someone is, where are you? Where are you going? What's the gap? How are we going to fill it? And that's really a self-coaching tool. Mm-hmm. And that's something that you can do and we can do every month. How did I end September, right? Okay, how did I end in September? And that's where you are. So those are just some real simple things I like to look at when I'm helping coach somebody. Also, one thing, I saw some comments really fast about business building. You know, feel like you're sharing alone, or you feel like you're building on your team alone. Well, one thing I want to encourage you with is if you're at the gold level, most people get to gold pretty much on their own. I think it's the hardest rank to get to. I honestly believe, I've said this for years, I think gold is the hardest rank to get to because you're pulling the train yourself. Mm-hmm. For the most part, most people get to gold on their own. But as far as sharing and not having, maybe feel like you're sharing alone, one thing I'll say is this, and it's been addressed already, is you have to, if you want to attract, I would say that business builders aren't created, they're attracted. Like, you don't go and make a business builder, you find them. You don't go make people good, you find them good. We need to go find good people. And how do we do that? We attract them by the way we're posting. We attract successful people are looking for a place to go and stay and to succeed. Like we need to attract business builders. If we want business builders on our team, we need to attract business builders. Well, how do we do that? By sharing the business. You could probably get to gold without sharing the business. You can get to gold by sharing the products. I think anybody can go gold by sharing products, but if you want to go beyond that, you're going to have to look at sharing the business opportunity. Why do a lot of people not go beyond gold? Because they're afraid to share the business opportunity. This is the next fear. Like in the process of succeeding in Plexus, you have to overcome fear after fear after fear after fear. It doesn't end. So if you're wanting to go beyond where you are, it's a large portion of people in here are probably afraid to share the business with people because you don't want to be that person, or you don't want to be all about money, or you excuse after excuse after excuse. that has to be overcome. And if you want to have a business building team, you have to share the business and you have to get over that fear. How do I know that? Because I had to get over that. I understand what it is you're dealing with. But if you want a business building team, you have to attract the business builders. It's frustrating when you just share the products with people, and the products are amazing. Absolutely love the products. I take them every single day. But the thing is, it's frustrating in this business when you attract product users, which I love product users. But when you attract product users and you try to turn them into business builders, it's frustrating. It's kind of like Jim Rohn says, you can't send your ducks to Eagle School.
Except
right?
I was a product
from
user.
From a business standpoint, right? I mean, we love product users. That's not what I'm saying, but it's extremely frustrating trying to turn a wholesale person who just loves the products and is not interested in a business opportunity, trying to turn them into a business builder. It's really frustrating. So we need the product users on. That's how we started. But we also want the business builders, and we're going to attract them by how we're posting, what we're posting, and by overcoming our own fears about posting about the business.
Mm-hmm. And I love what Jen said. She's like, oh my word, this was so helpful because I'm realizing that I'm not alone. And I think sometimes in this business, like you're working through certain like fears or mindset things, and you do kind of feel like you're alone until you get in a room of people. You're like, oh, this is normal. Like this is par for the course. This is like part of the process that I have to do in order to get from senior silver to gold,
right,
or from gold to senior gold.
We're all the same. Weird.
Good things. Okay, Carissa is going to close us out with some homework.
Yeah, and I'm gonna lead our prayer now, and then I'll announce the homework.
Okay.
So sometimes things like this can get us all like tensing up more and more. So I'm gonna just have us all take a collective deep breath and fill your lungs, fill your belly with all that good oxygen. Breathe it out. Sometimes when you're working and you're feeling that tension build, you have to do that, like breathe a bunch of good oxygen in and then let it go. Sometimes you need to turn to the person next to you and just say fart or say something that breaks up that tension and just kind of melts it all away. Something to remove the drama. Remember Brooke Hemingway's video that we all watched this week? Like, what if I could send out these 10 messages on my list minus the drama? So have a couple tools in your tool belt that help you melt away the drama from that moment. So, and also I'm reminded as I take that deep breath in, I'm reminded of the scripture that says that His divine power gives us everything we need for life and godliness. So I'm going to pray that over us right now. Father God, Jesus, Holy Spirit, please fill us with everything we need to accomplish this calling that you've laid on our hearts. Because your Spirit lives in us, we know that this calling you've laid on our hearts is from you. It's not random. It's not selfish. You have a purpose for it, and you promise that you're going to give us everything we need every day to carry it out. And you also promise that you transform us by renewing our minds. So God, we're wanting you to make us more aware of these repeated thoughts that we focus on that don't serve what we're trying to accomplish. They don't serve the purpose the calling that you put on our lives. Make us more aware of those thoughts so that we can take them captive and make them obedient to you, and so that we can be transformed by the renewing of our minds. God, help us to be reminded and refreshed after we sleep tonight, tomorrow when we wake up, of all the little nuggets and tidbits that were said on this call. Sometimes we close it out and go, what did I just hear? I'm so overwhelmed. But God, as we sleep, I just pray that you bury all of this information deep, deep, deep in our hearts and minds, and that it starts to pop up in the process of taking our thoughts captive over the next days and weeks. Thank you so much for tonight. This was wonderful. In your name we pray, amen. Okay, let's talk about our homework for this next week. Let me pull it up real quick. Okay, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4 things. Okay, your first homework. We want you to meticulously write down your wins for the coming week. At least 10, but keep on going if you get past 10. Here's the reason. Whatever we focus on, we create more of. Whatever we focus on expands. And so many people tonight, when you were asked to share what's going well, it was kind of a, well, it's been a slow couple months, but here's something that was going well. It is so much easier to talk about what's not going well than what is going well. And what happens is that that indicates where we're focused. So if we are focused on what is not going well, we're going to create more and more of that because that's what all we're thinking about. So this is so powerful to daily, maybe 5 minutes first thing in the morning, write down a couple of wins and be like, oh, you know what? That was a win. That was a win too. That was a win too. As you start to really recognize and focus on those things, you'll start creating more of them, which will build on to the snowball. Also, it's really unhelpful when we focus on our failures because then we go, why am I even doing this? I'm obviously terrible at it. Why would I even show up and do my action plan today? It's obviously going to fail. Look at all these other failures. So we actually sabotage ourselves more by focusing on all those failures. So there's a lot of good to be had by this. So we're going to challenge everybody to spend some time daily writing down wins and have a really good extensive list ready to go before our next call. Second homework is we're going to watch the second Brooke Hemingway GoldMastermind video number 2. So we'll give you that recording. Then we have some really awesome VIP events that we're going to give you the details for in the group. And hold on. Yes, and we want to challenge you to invite at least 10 people to watch one of those. We had our first one last night, and it was like so good. So even if you're just having people watch the replay, we want to challenge you to have 10 people watch one of these VIP events, either the replay or the live event. They will be moved. These are amazing. And then the last one.
Hey, Carissa, can I just verify with everyone that what you're referring to is in the comments under the post that Megan put in the group for Power Hours.
Okay, thank you. And we'll include it in the next homework too, so we can have the details there. Okay, and then we want to reach out to all of our VIP customers. Anybody that you've had as a customer up till now that was a preferred customer receiving a subscription order has now been gifted a VIP membership for their next year. And they have an opportunity for this month only to buy a welcome pack because they're an honorary VIP. So some of those people, maybe they've only been using ProBio 5 and BioCleanse, or maybe they've only been using Active. This is a really great opportunity to give them good service and to help them fall in love with a couple additional products at a really deep discount. Welcome packs are discounted below wholesale. So we want to reach out to all of our existing PCs, now they're VIPs, and just help them understand what new perks have been added to their account and help them understand they have access to a welcome pack this month only. You're going to want to intercept them before their subscription would normally process for this month so that you can say, hey, instead of your usual subscription, which we can bump out to next month, you have a one-time only option to get a bundle of products cheaper than I can get them as a brand ambassador. I know that you love Starfruit Guava Active. Here's a photo of all the welcome packs that have it in there. And look, you could try out the kids vitamins. You can kind of do it that way. So those are going to be our homework assignments. No, retail customers are still retail customers. It's preferred customers that have been grandfathered in with a gift membership as a VIP for the next year. And then of course you'll also tell them, and you have a referral link that you can share, and you're earning perks that add up to free product with every consistent month you receive your subscription. When we read out the homework, I can kind of give our bullet point list that I've showed you, Megan, on what all is changing with their accounts. And then that'll give people the framework of what to explain.
Okay, that sounds great.
Okay.
Is the year a specific date or when they became a customer?
It's from this month, like as these changes have been rolled out this month, this is kind of their start date as a VIP.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Okay, we're going to close out, but just a reminder, tomorrow night we have, for some of you are going to be in on the call, it's called the Millionaire Networker. It's a book study we're going to be doing. I'm going to be leading that tomorrow night. So if you are part of that, I'm just going to encourage you to read chapter 1 and come with something ready to share. I'm not going to talk the whole time. It's going to be more of a mastermind sort of an idea, because I want to hear from you guys. I want to learn as throughout this whole thing. So so read chapter 1. Are there any more books?
Yes, there's more books. And so if you have, well, if you personally need one, or you have someone on your team that wants to be part of it, it's not too late. We're just requesting that everyone's ranked to senior silver by tomorrow night to be in it. And we can express ship it. The books have been free, so we just priority mailed the books. Hopefully you all are getting them, and anybody else that wants to be part of it totally can. We will record, but we're encouraging everybody to be on live. Just set aside that time. If for some reason you have like an ongoing conflict, but you still want to be privy to the training and the book study, we will have it recorded if that's your case.
Yeah, so great book. So if you're going to be on there, read chapter 1 for tomorrow night.
Okay.
Cool.
Thanks everybody for being on.
Thanks, guys.
Have a great night. Bye.